recording now. Please. Hi, good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Adjulu Adetu, and I'm a business analyst. I'll be taking you through the session for wireframing for business analysts and more or less walking you through Balsamiq. Balsamiq is a wireframing tool, and this is like a guided walkthrough of using Balsamiq, which is a popular wireframing tool to create website designs for business applications. Before I carry on, can I please confirm that we've all got the email to grant access to Balsamiq? I sent that earlier, and I sent a message on Telegram. If you can all please confirm that you've got that, and even if you haven't got that, if you can please find it in your email and get access to it, that will be great. So what we're going to do and how this session is going to run is I'm going to go through a quick 15 minutes high level what wireframes are about and how to use wireframe, the importance of wireframe, and then we'll go on to Balsamiq itself and we'll see how it works. We'll do a prototype, a design of a website on Balsamiq, and I'll walk you through that if that's okay. Quick housekeeping, please. Can I ask that we all keep our questions till after this particular session? And I'll give you 5 minutes after this particular session to take your questions and any comments that you have, and then we'll go on to the Balsamiq proper. Thank you. So welcome to wireframing. What exactly is wireframing? Wireframing is a process of creating a visual representation. I'm sure some of you have done your user stories now and you've heard the word wireframe, or you need to put your wireframe. I was doing sprint planning yesterday and some people were asking, oh, why don't we have wireframes in there? So you people, I'm sure you're quite familiar with the word wireframe, but what exactly is it? It's kind of like a process of creating visual representation of a website or an application that you want to build. So you're structuring, you're showing the, more or less showing the developers or showing the project team the structure and the layout of the application. Remember, as a business analyst, you're working, you're brainstorming, you're thinking of how you want to bring your application to life. You're thinking of how you want to bring your website to life. This website, you're kind of doing it blindly. And the reason why you're creating a wireframe is for you to have that visual representation. Okay, this is what I want the website to be like. This is where I want the logo. This is what I want on the footer and all of that. Mainly the reason for wireframing is the key focus for a wireframe is user experience. How do you want the user to experience this website when they're right? So when you're designing your wireframe, you need to have that at the back of the mind. How you need to also think about the ease of the user journey on the website. So your user experience, I want the logo on, let's say, for example, I want the logo on the left side of the website. Why do you want the logo on the left side of the website, or left header of the top header of the website, so that the user can easily access it? You want your website to be as easy as possible, user friendly as much as possible. So what benefits of wireframing? Wireframing helps you to plan your architecture, your design, your visuals, what you want the website to look like. You're writing your user stories and you're backing it up with wireframing. So remember, you're writing your user stories, you're writing your acceptance criteria, you have all of the detailed description for that user story. And what brings it to a point is the wireframe. Once you include the wireframe on there, there's a visual representation for each line of description that you have within your user story. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So each line that you've represented with your user story is represented within the wireframe, and then the project team can see and say, oh, okay, so this is what he's talking about. It's just for clarity and to remove any ambiguity whatsoever. So obviously, to identify potential usability issues and facilitate communication between the stakeholders. When you're doing your sprint planning, for instance, you go to your sprint planning with your user stories, your acceptance criteria, and your wireframe, and they're asking you these questions. Sometimes when they see the wireframe, they don't even bother to ask you questions at all because it's already there. They already see what they can already have the answer to what they're asking. So what is Balsamiq? Before I introduce Balsamiq, let me just say there are different tools that we can use for wireframe. I will see that in a few slides down the line. There are different tools that we can use for wireframing. But for the purpose of this session, we're going to be focusing on Balsamiq. So what is Balsamiq? Balsamiq is a wireframing tool that allows you to create low fidelity hand-drawn styles wireframe quickly and efficiently. Balsamiq is quite easy to use. And if you pick it up today, I guarantee you that before you know it, in no time, you'll be able to use it effortlessly. So in this presentation, we'll explore the concept of wireframing and introduce Balsamic as a tool for creating wireframe, helping you to plan and communicate your website or application design effectively. For your project, you're building a SharePoint website, is a SharePoint portal, which is kind of like an intranet. So we can liken it to a website. So after the session, you'll be able to draw up your wireframes and include them within your user stories. What is wireframing? I've said this. So this is just a quick example of what what wireframes look like within Balsamic. So you can see it's all black and white. It has headers. This is just a small image that I squashed into this. But when we go into the wireframe proper, into Balsamic proper, you'll be able to see this more in a bigger size. So what is wireframing? It's a crucial process in development of a website and application. It involves creating visual representations of the user interface. It serves as a blueprint. I'm sure some of the team binary members are here, and I've always said this keyword, it serves as a blueprint for your final product. It helps you and it helps the planners to design and strategize the structure, the layout, and the functionality of the experience, ensuring a user-friendly interface. I already said this earlier. When you're designing your wireframe, when you're thinking of your website, when you're writing your user stories, you need to have it at the back of your mind that the user interface needs to be user-friendly. User-friendly. You want the user journey to be smooth and as seamless as possible. So that is what wireframe is all about. And this is a quick example. Different types of tools that we can use for wireframing. For this first session, we're focusing on Balsamic, which is a low fidelity wireframing tool. It's simple. It's similar to a hand-drawn style. It allows for quick prototyping, easy drag and drop functionality. Balsamic is really, it might not be as fancy as the other wireframing tool, but Balsamic will get the job done. Honestly, believe me. And I'm sure after tonight, even tonight, if some of you guys that have your login and stuff, if you're able to, play around Balsamic, see how it works, I'm sure by tonight you'll be able to use Balsamic seamlessly and effortlessly. Another tool for wireframing is Figma. Figma is a design platform that allows multi-user editing and provides a range of wireframing and prototyping features, which includes vector-based design and responsive layouts. So I'll say Figma is a fantastic wireframing tool as well. It's more fancy than Balsamic and it does the job. So that's another tool that you can use for wireframing. Lucidchart as well. There's ads for Lucidchart everywhere now. We're watching YouTube, you see ads for Lucidchart left, right, and center. This is a web-based diagramming application. So you're collaborating on drawing, you're sharing charts, diagram, process improvements. Lucidchart is quite robust, to be honest with you. And it's a good tool for wireframing as well. So Sketch, I'm not very familiar with this one. So Sketch is for the Mac users. I'm not a big fan of Mac. So I have a Mac, I have a Mac computer that honestly not a big fan. I try to avoid it when I don't necessarily need to use it. So this I'm assuming is for it's for Mac, known for its intuitive interface and plugin ecosystem. It's a versatile choice for wireframing, UI design, and collaboration. So that's a fantastic one for the Mac users. Another one is InVision. So InVision is a cloud-based prototyping tool or wireframing tool that helps you to design creative interactive wireframes, gather feedback, and project process. So you can see that the cloud-based ones, you can gather more analytics from there as compared to the non-cloud-based one. And the last one is Adobe XD, a vector-based design and prototyping tool from Adobe, offering streamlined interface for creating high-fidelity wireframe and interactive prototypes with built-in UI kits and design systems. So these are, there are loads of wireframing tools out there. If you do your research, you'll come across loads and loads of wireframing tools out there. And yeah, this is just a few for you to see. So Balsamic, remember, why are we choosing Balsamic? Because, for beginners, it's quite easy to use Balsamic. It's user-friendly. It has templates on there that you can just drag and drop and use as much as you like. So Balsamic offers a unique hand style interface that focuses on the user experience rather than the visual aesthetics. So you can see it just focuses on the user experience. If you look at the slide that I shared with you earlier, it was more or less black and white, drag and drop. It's simple, handwritten, and it gets the job done without anything fancy. Another reason why obviously Balsamic is good is the ease of use. It has a user-friendly interface. And remember, that's what you want for when you're designing your website as well. You want user-friendly interface. And obviously, this is one of the reasons why I'm picking Balsamic over the other ones, because it has user-friendly interface. And if you're doing your website, if you're designing your website, if you make it user-friendly, then people will like to use your website more. They will enjoy using your website more because you've made that journey for them seamless. And it'll drive traffic to your website. So ease of use of Balsamic, it makes it accessible to both beginner designers and experienced designers. And then with Balsamic, you can create quick wireframes. There's so many drag and drop tools on Balsamic. You can just do a frame, drag and drop, so many templates that you can use on there. It allows you to iterate and explore ideas without getting bogged down with the visual details. And then the emphasis is on user experience, just like I've iterated several times before, and I've emphasized several times before. Balsamic encourages focus on user experience by providing an environment that promotes ideation and rapid prototyping. So that's introducing Balsamic. Key features of Balsamic, like I said, it has pre-built UI components. Sorry, excuse me. So pre-built user interface components. So, you'll see it in a minute when we get there. So it provides a wide range of pre-designed elements, buttons, menus, input field. You can quickly design a wireframe in less time than you'd imagine. And then it has the annotation capabilities as well. It allows you to add notes, comments, annotations directly on the wireframe, making it easy to communicate ideas and provide feedback during the design process. And then it's collaborative as well. It offers real-time collaboration, allowing multiple team members to work on the same wireframes simultaneously and track changes and revision. So, Balsamic is fantastic. The comprehensive set of features that we have there helps you to simplify the wireframing process, empowering you to create effective user-friendly designs quickly and effectively and efficiently. So what we're going to do tonight on Balsamic, I've sent all of you guys that invite. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a new page. So we'll, set up a new page. You're going to add components to the user interface. We're going to arrange some of those components that we've added onto the user interface. We're going to apply styles, formatting, and we're going to make it as interactive as possible. Learning how to create interactive elements such as clickable buttons or links to simulate the user flow and functionality of the wireframe. Best practices for Balsamic or wireframes in general. You need to focus on the user needs, focus on the user journey, focus on the user goals, pain points, and tasks when designing the wireframe, ensuring that the layout and functionalities is addressing the core requirements. So when you're writing up your user story, you're designing. So user stories and wireframes work hand in hand. Remember, when you're thinking of your user stories and you're writing it out, you're also thinking in your mind, you're mapping it out in your mind that this is what I want the website to look like. This is what my user story is saying, and my wireframe should say exactly the same thing. And what exactly is the same thing is you're focusing on the user journey, focusing on the user needs, which are the core functionalities and the core requirements for whatever product that you're developing. Remember as well, you need to keep it simple. Avoid cluttering your wireframe with excessive and unnecessary features. Make sure it's clean, make sure it's not cluttered, make sure that this design is easy to understand and navigate. Remember when you're writing your user stories, you're writing your user stories so that it can clarify any ambiguity. You're writing your user stories in plain, simple language where everybody on that development team can understand you. So if you're doing your wireframes, if you're doing your wireframes as well, you need to have it at the back of your mind that this thing should be as simple as possible. Clarity, no ambiguity, no cluttered design at all, easy to understand and navigate. You can also wireframe best practice, gather feedback from stakeholders and users and use it to refine and improve your wireframe. So also maintain consistency. Ensure that the wireframe adheres to established design patterns and guidelines, maintaining a consistent user experience across the application. So for instance, now if you're drawing one wireframe, you have one wireframe for the main page or the landing page. you have another wireframe for the home page, you have another wireframe for the sign up page, you have another wireframe for the login page. There's certain consistencies that we'll see that in a minute, but the certain consistencies that you need to maintain. Header and footer, usually on all the pages of the website, are usually the same, aren't they? So you need to ensure that consistency. And then also, lastly, will be to prototype and test. Creating prototypes that validate the wireframe functionality. Test the wireframe with the users to identify any area of improvement. So now we've been able to squeeze that another 30 minutes. That's fantastic. So now we'll go through to Balsamiq itself, and then we'll see how it works. So what we're going to do tonight is going to be as interactive as possible. And I do not want silence. Please, I'm begging you, engage as much as possible. You are the ones designing this wireframe for me. I'm just a facilitator. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to Balsamiq now, and we're going to design a website for football fans. I'd imagine that I hope that a lot of us are football fans here tonight. So we're going to design a website for football fans. You tell me what you want on the header, the footer, the body, and all of that. And we'll go into Balsamiq now. So let me stop sharing. And while I jump onto Balsamiq, if you have any questions, please raise up your hands and we will take your questions now. Also, before questions, Uzo, do you have anything else you wanted to add, please?
No, I think you covered most of it. No worries. You did really well.
Right. Thank you.
No
Thank you. So 1 second, I'm just going to pass. Any questions, please? Any questions, please? Any questions? Is dead quiet here? Are you guys still here? Can somebody? Are you guys?
At the moment, for me, no,
anyway.
not yet.
Not yet.
I'm just
So we all
listening.
have full understanding of that presentation that I've just shared.
Yeah,
it's getting there.
It's getting there.
So-
We have
so-
full
so-
understanding. So
yeah.
can I ask a question?
No, please.
Why no? I thought you said you had full understanding. Let me ask a question to test our knowledge that we have full understanding of what we're doing. So,
Go ahead.
can you guys confirm? I know a few people have confirmed to me that they've got the access to Wireframe. Have you been able to log on? It's not just the
Yes.
email. Have you been able to log on? And
Yes.
you
I'm
can
logged
see-
on.
Yes.
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 Okay, that's fantastic.
If that's the
Thank
question, we are okay. Yes.
Why are you guys afraid of questions? Eh?
I have
Don't
a
be
question
afraid of
for
questions.
the team. I hope you all know that you're going to need to add wireframes to all your user stories because you're working on a web development website. So a lot of what you're doing will need wireframes to support it. So this is just me checking in to make sure that you know that this is not just a practical, a theoretical tutorial, that you need to add wireframes to your stories, hopefully by the end of the week. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Brilliant. Thanks.
Thanks for that, Uzo. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's important. So thank you for that. So now, for those that have logged on to Balsamiq, you should be able to see something similar to this. I'm just picking a random project, but you should be able to see something similar to this. You'll be able to see each of your teams. You'll be able to see the team binary and team agile. So this is what it should look like. Let me just share that with you quickly. Excuse me. So I can see team agile. I can see some people on there. And I can see team binary. I mean, people that you can if you have like 2 screens or something, you can watch what I do, and then you can model it on yours as well. And you can always delete it. So don't worry, it's not, you can't break it. You can always delete it as much as possible. So let me use team agile, for instance. So this is your wireframe. This is Balsamiq, sorry. Excuse me. This is Balsamiq. This is basically, this is what your project. So we're on Team Agile now. This is your project. This is the name of the wireframe name. There are a few buttons. Let me note this up here. There are a few buttons up here that is quite useful, and I want you to pay attention to. So you've got different buttons. In the top ribbon, you've got different buttons. You can delete, you can edit. This is a drop down. You have different options on what to do. This is your user. This is a quick add button. This quick add button is one of my favorite things to use on Balsamic because I mean, for me, I can search for anything, any icon that I want on here, and it brings it out to me. So yeah, that's the top ribbon. The next ribbon is where you have the different icons. So the different icons, the different templates that you have on Balsamic that you can use. So if you click on the UI control, you can see that it's giving you different sets of things. If you're in the browser window, button bar, and all of that. If you click on icons, it gives you. Sorry, did someone say something?
No, go ahead, please.
Okay, so icon buttons is giving you different icons and with the names, images buttons. You can upload your image from there. Templates is giving you different templates as well. So remember, these buttons, ribbons at the top here is quite important when you want to do your wireframe. So you have can you see you have application, you have e-commerce website, you have different templates that you can just easily drag and drop. So you don't have to create it from the scratch. Do you understand? You don't have to create it on the scratch. There are so many templates on here that you can use. And within that template, you have content management, you have diagrams. Look at use case diagrams. You have use case diagram here. You have journey maps. You have user personas. If you go on that e-commerce, you have different e-commerce websites. Mobile, you have different mobile applications that wireframes that you can use. Products and services, you have so many things. Social media, you have so many things that you can use here. So that's it for the top button. Like I said, I'm just going to quickly go through the ribbons again. This is your top ribbon. You have your project name. You have the name of the wireframe that you're designing. You have your edit button that has a drop down with different options in there. And then you have the users that you can see that are logged on at the same time. The next ribbon on the header is where you have the different templates that are available to you. So UI controls, icons, templates, and much more. And you can see, so when you click on it, it changes. You can see what all the templates or all the icons that are underneath each one, and you can pick from there. And then you have the side menu as well, where you can do some more editing if you wish to. So the first thing I would say, the first thing, best practices when creating on a new wireframe is, so this is our first page. What you need to do to create a wireframe, a new wireframe, we click on new wireframe. So let me take this one for now. Let's take this one to the bin for now. Let's take this one to the bin for now. And yes, so new wireframe. Can you all see what I did there? I just clicked on the plus button and it gave me a new wireframe. First thing first, once you've created a new wireframe, let me make it easier once you created a new, first thing is you need to name your wireframe. So remember, what are we designing? We're designing a football fan club website. So first thing, when you come on any website, what's that page? That page that the first page that you see on any website. What is it called? Does anyone know, please? Can someone give me the answer? The first page that you see on any website, if I go on any website, there's a first page that I see. What's that page for?
Landing page.
The landing page. Thank you. That's the landing page. That's the landing page. At BH, you need to research the difference between the landing page and the home page. Though it's very similar, but you need to understand the difference between there. So this is the landing page. So what's the name of our football club, please? Somebody give me a name. Let's call it, for you to rename, for you to create
City.
Manchester City. You want to cause trouble this night?
No,
okay.
Chelsea, Gary.
No, City,
Who
please.
is calling Chelsea? Who is calling Chelsea? Please, Manchester United.
You guys,
we don't want United. City.
Let's just do something.
Good evening,
Let's do something
everyone.
general.
Sorry.
Adeolu United.
Good evening. Sorry, I have to interrupt.
Adeolu United. Okay, team. April 2024 United.
So are you there?
Let's go for the
Adeolu FC. Adeolu FC is okay.
Adeolu. Oh God.
Okay, let's not cause trouble like Liverpool, where they have different, where they have purple beans and different colored beans, so that because of football fans, let's not cause the trouble like they've caused in Liverpool. So sorry, yes, please. Usually what I do is I just double click on it. Once I double click on it, I can change the name. But let me take you guys through the normal process. If you right click on that wireframe, click on rename, it gives you this. So Adeolu FC and Uzo FC United. Uzo, you have a football club. You people are prophesying into my life. I don't mind owning a football club. United and rename. Landing page. So this is remember, this is our landing page. Because remember, you're going to be creating different pages for your website. So you need to name it just so that you can refer back to it at any point in time. So this is our landing page. So what do we see on our landing page once we have, look at the templates on here. We have a browser window. I just click and drag my browser window. And that's all I need to do. Once I click and I drag my browser window onto there, I see the web page. So I can rename this one saying Adiolu FC United or whatever. FC United. Landing page. I am horrible. So this is my landing page, and you can resize it as much as you want. So here's my landing page, and I have my Adiolu FC in landing page. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit more. And first thing, when you're creating your landing page, you want to make it as sizable as possible so you can fit everything that you need on there. So I usually just like to make it sizable from the scratch so that I don't struggle down the line when I need to put stuff in there. So can we all see this? We can see this is our web page, our browser window. This looks like our browser window, doesn't it? It looks like our browser window. It looks like you can see the website on there, the website URL on there. You can see the stop button, refresh button, search button, and all of that. So this is our browser window. You can see that Balsamic has already done the job for you. You don't need to come and start designing, oh, I want to put my browser, I want to put this and all of that. It's already designed it for you. So that's the first thing you do. Another thing, what's the next thing we see? What's the first thing you see when you're on the landing page of a website? That's prominent, that's usually prominent. What's the first thing you see that's usually prominent? I'll give you a clue, and it's usually on the header. Sorry?
The logo? The logo?
The logo.
The
Thank you
logo.
very much.
The logo.
Thank you very much. So now I'm going to pick a logo. On here, I can use, I have different icons that I can use for my logo. So I'm going to grab this image. Before I do that though, I need to be able to, put my website in sections, because remember we have different sections. We have the header, we have the footer. And how do I do that? I use something called a ruler or a rule, whatever it's called. It's usually called H rule, and I use it to create the different sections from there. Rather than, let me show you guys something. Rather than go, because I have something here, I have the H rule here. I can drag and drop, and then I can extend it. Sorry, I can extend it as much as I want. But rather than go through these icons here, I can come here, my quick add, and I can say, I can look for, even if you don't know the name of what you're looking for. I don't know. Can you guys see my,
Yes. Yes.
Can you see what, can you see this very well? Okay. So like, see now, I've come here to type rule, and it's giving me different options. So it's giving me H rule, V rule. I can look, oh, which one do I want? Let me pick this one, for instance. And I can, stop. This thing is, so that's actually United. That's my H rule. Let's drag this one again and create it on there, and I can drag it all the way down. So this is my header right here. So we can see I've got my header. Another section that's usually prominent on your website is what, apart from your header, is what. I've mentioned it a number of times tonight, is what.
Sorry, how do you remove the small one you have at the bottom?
You just click on it and delete it. But for now, it's not letting me click. I don't know, for some reason I can't click on it. You just click on it and there we go. Yeah. Click on it and delete it, because sometimes, it can be a little fiddly, but you can just fiddle as much as you can. Once you're able to click on it, it'll let you delete it. So just click the delete button, and that's it. So another prominent section, remember, is the footer. So I'm still looking for a rule as well. I type rule here. Rule. And so can you see? I've double clicked on there, and I can bring it here. and I can drag it. I don't know. So I'll show you something about grouping and ungrouping, because sometimes it lets you cancel. Sometimes when you're trying to drag stuff up and your wireframe moves left, right, center. So I'll show you that shows you the reason why we need to do groupings within our wireframe. So this is my H rule. This rule is, so this section is representing my header. This section is representing my footer. And we said logo. Remember, logo is usually on the header. I drag my logo here and I can resize it as much as I want. If I want it bigger, I can resize it as much as I want here. If that makes any sense. Yep. I mean, are we all happy with that? We can see where my logo is at. You can adjust, look, you can adjust the size here. You can adjust the size here as much as you want. You can put, I mean, whatever size you want, you can come here, which is the reason why we have this left pane. You can come here and adjust the size that we want to pick. So now we have the logo. Can I just say, when you're doing a wireframe on Balsamic, it's not necessary, it's not necessary to have the actual logo. Once you put this image there, the developer or whoever is looking at that wireframe already understands that, oh, this represents a logo. And remember, when you're writing your user stories and you're designing your wireframe, sometimes you can even put, I've been on projects where sometimes you can even, some people just drop the image of the logo within the user story on Azure and they can pick it up from there. But once they see this icon here representing image, then they have the logo. So so it doesn't have to be, remember, best practice, and you always like best practice for Balsamic, black and white as much as possible, plain, simple, no funny designs or anything at all. So we have the logo here, and what's the next thing that we have on our header? So let's quickly finish our header. What's the next thing we have on our header, please? We should have on our header. Remember, we're the one designing this FC United fan club landing page. So what else? What next do you want to see on the header?
Address.
Okay.
Contacts number.
Who's on the header? What address have you seen on the header, please?
Slogan. We can.
Tagline.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Tagline and
Tagline.
Timeline as well.
Tagline, yes, tagline, not slogan.
The name of the club.
Just a quick question, if you don't mind. This box you have here on the left for the logo, did you get that from image? The image?
Yeah. Can you see?
Sign?
Can you see where my cursor is?
Or was that from?
I just dragged and dropped.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so you were saying, sorry, you guys were saying what you have on the header.
Tagline.
We already have the logo. We already have it. Let's just assume, for the ease of this thing, let's just have, we have the logo. The logo has the tagline and everything. Let's just assume that. Or if you want to put a line of, yeah, you can put a line of text, actually. You can put a line of text next to it. So let's find that. Right. What else do we have on the... Sorry? Sorry?
Timeline.
On your header. What are the prominent things that you see?
The name of the club. The name of the club.
We're already there. We already have the name of the club here. Adiolu FC, blah, blah, blah. We already have the name.
What about us?
About us?
Sorry?
About us.
About us. About us is usually sat where, please? Can somebody answer that question? About us is usually sat where? Is about us usually sat on the header? About us. Sometimes, yes. We also, yeah. I guess, sorry, excuse me. I guess different people have different
description.
There's something I'm looking for.
Yes.
There's something I'm looking for that you guys haven't. This is a fan club, and it's a landing page. It's a fan club. Let's say, for instance, I'm a member of the fan club, and I want to join. Let's say I'm not even a member. I want to join the fan club. Or I'm a member. No, I'm just giving you more clues here. So I'm a member of the fan club. I want to see, maybe on the fan club now, I buy season tickets or something. I'm able to buy t-shirts. I'm able to buy jerseys. I'm able to buy. How am I able to see all of my transactions on that
username and password?
Username. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Exactly. That was what I was looking for. Login.
Yeah.
Login is what I was looking for. So where do you want login to be, please? On the right, For the left, where do you want it to be, please? Where do you want it to be, please? And for the
Top right corner.
Right corner. Okay. Thank you very much. Bear with me 1 second, please.
And forgot password.
Will that usually be on the header?
It's usually when you want to log in.
That's probably during the login process.
Yes, exactly. So 2 ways you can do this login. You want the login to be on the header, did you say? So 2 things you can either use this, you can either use a button login, or you can use a line of text, which is this one. So usually, if it's clickable, usually you say, okay, we'll use a button. Let's use a button. So this is your login button here. What else do you want on your header, please?
You know, when you were talking about buying tickets and things like that, viewing, what if you have something like my shopping cart or baskets or something? I don't know.
Basket.
Yeah, but you're only able to do that. You're only able to do that when you're only able to do that when you have, you can't just have shopping cart or baskets yet. You have to be on this. Remember, this is the landing page. Remember, this is the landing page. Do you all remember that this is the landing page? So before we get into the carts, into the shopping and all of that, we need to, we're on this landing page. So it's this landing page that we're trying to design here. So you can see for this login, I'm trying to make it bold. I'm trying to make it, I'm trying to make the size bigger. So this is what this, excuse me. This is what this left pane does. So login, there we go. You can see login. We already have it here. Login. What's another thing that we usually see apart from login on the header? What do we usually see on the header apart from login?
Fans can register as in online, so we can, we can have register button or sign up.
I know. Thank you very much. So for you to do that, I mean, for people that are quite familiar with the what's it called, with the keyboard shortcuts with Microsoft Office, what you need to do for this, if you want to duplicate, because I'm using a button as well, rather than go here, where's the button? Rather than go here and drag another one, all I can do is I can Control D and drag this here. And then I can click in here and say sign up. Yeah. So that's my sign up button. Can we all see that? So rather than having to go back and just Control D, that duplicates it, and then you can move. What other thing do we have on the header? Or do you want on the header? It's your website. I'm just designing it for you. What other thing do you want, please? On the header. What other thing would you normally have on the header?
I have linked for different features. Let's say
and somebody said about us. You guys wanted about us. Yes, let me duplicate this. Have about us. My system doing this. This one is about us.
Events.
I think about us should be under menu. We should create a menu where they'll click on when they
don't want
click
about
on
us.
menu.
All right, let me delete it.
About everything will be under about us.
Okay, so I should create a
create a menu. Create a menu.
Button for menu,
then, under the menu,
now
there'll be a drop
down.
Different features.
So now
like about us.
This is a combo box. The combo box on here, you can use it to see menu. So menu, and you can use it to highlight everything that you want under that menu. So you can see that this combo box here, it says is bear with me, let me just increase the size for this one. You can see that this combo box here has a drop down next to it. You can see that it has a drop down next to it, and under that drop down you can now have all the things that you wanted to have. So you said menu, you said what do you want to have?
I'm sorry, you know the place where we have sign in. Some people might want to create account. It's not able. So I'll say sign in.
That's why you have sign up.
So remember,
create account. Some people might
be
new.
You are not creating your account on the landing page. When you click sign up, it's a clickable link. It takes you to the sign up button, and then you're able to create your account from there.
To create
Remember,
an
when you're
account,
writing your user stories, you are thinking of the journey. That's why I encourage you guys,
yes,
when you're writing
that's
your
true.
user stories, before you even begin to write your user stories, you need to map out what you want your website to do. You need to have like a mind map, like a brainstorming map. You can even use Balsamic for crying out loud. You can use Balsamic, you can use Figma, you can use Miro. There's so many things that you can use to map out what exactly do I want to achieve on this website. So this is my landing page. What do I want to see on my landing page? You map it out. It has branches. From my landing page, what do I want these things to be able to do? Each of these features are usually, maybe if they are clickable features or not, and all of that, each of the features are usually clickable, and you need to be able to map out what you want those things to do and those icons to do. So right now, you can see this menu that I put here. I've said, oh, menu, about us. And you guys wanted, what else did you want under the about us again? You wanted about us, you wanted, what else did you want? Contact us. So what else? Management. Okay, management.
Like the team management.
Management. Okay, what else? Okay, that's fine.
Store.
Let's go.
Mega
Because
store.
time is far.
Where they can.
Sorry?
Mega store.
Store?
Mega store where they can. Yeah. Mega store where they can.
Mega store.
Yeah, where they can buy jerseys and co.
Mega store where they can buy jerseys and co. Some people are buying jerseys. It's not it's a serious something. Okay, so that's about it for the header. What else for that? Are you happy with the header? We can move to the footer now. Before we move to the footer, however, I wanted to say, add something on there. Remember, when you're on a website and you are scrolling down, remember there's usually something on this side that you can scroll down, depending on how big or how long the website is, that you can scroll down and see all the contents that are within the website. That thing that we call, it's usually called, is it, I can't even remember the name. So let me find, it's called a scroll. There's a V scroll, there's a vertical scroll, and there's a horizontal scroll. So now what I want is a horizontal scroll. So I have a scroll. This is a vertical, sorry, I don't even know my English again. I want a vertical scroll, not a horizontal scroll. Not a horizontal scroll. So what I have here, I'm coming here and I'm dragging it. Yeah. Remember, on your website, the header and the footer are usually static, and then you just be scrolling. So this is where I have my V scroll. So can you see what I did? I didn't even bother to look here because I can't even find it here. I can't catch it here right away. So I just came here and I put scroll bar. Even if you come here and you don't even know what you're looking for, once you put what do you call it? Once you put like a prompt here, it gives you different options. You can see it's giving me V school. You remember that I didn't even remember the name of the school I was looking for. I said H school. But when I came here, I saw that okay, H school is not what I'm looking for. It's Greek school I'm looking for. And I picked that and I've dragged that here. So hope that helps. And yeah, that's it for the header and the V school. So for the footer, what do we want on the footer, please?
Contact us.
What do you want, please? Contact us. Yeah. So we want contact us. Where do you want on the footer? On the right or on the left?
On the right.
On the right. Okay.
I think on the
Remember, the reason why I'm using squiggly line of text for the footer is usually footers are rather than them being buttons, they're usually lines of text. So that's why I'm using this thing. Don't do me like, why are you acting this way? Anyway, you wanted it on the right. We'll move it to the right. So on the right, yeah. What else do we want?
Links to helpful information.
Helpful information. So remember, I have this. What do I do? What do I do? Press. I want to create another squiggly line rather than going to look for it. What do I do? Can somebody tell me what to do? Sorry?
Duplicates.
So duplicate, Control G. Thank you very much. So you said you wanted what? Resources or something, yeah?
Links, yeah. Links to helpful resources.
Yeah, links to remember, just showing you what I've done here. Remember that when I duplicated this and I moved it, it wasn't in alignment with that other one. So what I do is, links to resources, bear with me. What I do is I'm just moving. So this is I'm pressing my up arrow, I'm pressing my down arrow. Once it's in alignment, you'll see that all the three lines, can you see this? Can you see that all the three lines are aligned with the second one?
Yes.
So once it's on the same line, that's just showing you that. Excuse me. That's just showing that it's in alignment with the previous one. Okay, what else am I putting in? What
Times of use. Times of use.
Yes, thank you. So Control D. You have terms of use. Terms of use.
Social media.
Media. Sorry, did you say something? Did you say media?
Social media.
Social media. Thank you very
Isn't that
much.
the same thing as contact us?
You guys decide. It's your website.
Yes, we will have all the social media, everything about contact
Under
us
the
yeah.
contact us.
Yes.
Want to have all your social media under the contact us? You don't want them to be. Why do you want? Remember, user experience. I don't want to. You want to make it as easy for me as possible. I don't want to. Number one, remember, I'm not interested in your website. I don't mean to sound harsh, but I don't really care about your website. You are supposed to sell. You are selling something for me. I don't care about your website. I don't care about what you know. So as much easy clickable or as much accessible information as I have on the landing page is what will pique my interest. Oh, they have Facebook. Okay, let me click on Facebook and go. Rather than say, oh, once I click on contact us, then I'll go to Facebook. I might not even get to that stage of even clicking contact us in the first place. You get
that's true. You have all the social media.
Yes. So social media. Let's see.
Yes.
Social. What's the social media? So what do we want? Do we want Facebook? We want Facebook.
Twitter, Facebook,
LinkedIn,
Instagram, LinkedIn. Well, we can if you want to.
LinkedIn on what's it called? So Facebook, we have Facebook here. You can see this Facebook here. And I've double clicked on it. I want to increase the size. It's too small. I can't see. This is where once you double click on it, you see this icon library come up. If you click on extra large and you can select, it gives me extra large, you see? And I can see my Facebook icon there. Oh, sorry, I forgot to ask you, do you want on the right or the left? Where do you want it? Is it fine where I put it now? It's fine. I'm assuming it's fine where I put it now. So Facebook, you wanted, what did you want again? You wanted
Twitter.
Twitter.
X.
Yes.
Is it
Twitter? So you can see that I've duplicated that Facebook. I've pressed Ctrl D. It's giving me another one. I've moved it along. But now I want Twitter. I don't want Facebook. What am I going to do? I double click on it. And I come here. I can't even see Twitter right ahead. I come here and I just click. I just search Twitter. Can you see? Can you see how easy is it to you? Please, what's the new sign for? Is it this X or this bird? Which one is Twitter now? The X, yeah?
X, yeah.
I think it's the X.
So, and I select this. So I have my Twitter here. Now, what other what other social media icon do you want?
Instagram.
Okay. You can see, I'll show you. Can you guys see that my window has moved? So I'll show you what to do. So just so that you keep that in place. So Ctrl D, Instagram. Remember, double click, search. Please, what's the Instagram? I think this is Instagram, isn't it? So yeah. What else? What other social media icon do you want to see on there? What other social media icon do you want to see on there? Okay, I think that's fine. So what I want to do now for you guys is I want to show you. You can see that my wireframe was moving left, right, center when my window frame was moving left, right, center. And I don't want that to happen. I really don't want that to happen because it keeps throwing my diagrams out. So what I'd usually do is what I'd usually do is this. Let me delete this. I click on Control A. If you're all familiar with Control A means select all, yeah? And I right click it and I click on group. Once I do that, everything is grouped, regardless of where I move it. Can you see? Everything is grouped, regardless of where I move it. So rather than my diagrams being thrown left, right, center, once I group it, once I'm sure I'm happy with the structure, I click on group and it groups. And I'm not happy again. I want to change something. I Control A again, right click and select on group. So you can see, right click, select on group. So now it's showing me that I can still move my things around. Yeah. Showing me that I can still move my things around. So yeah, I hope that has helped somebody. So let's group this. So what do you want in the middle of your website? Uzo, I need to leave now. So are you able to take over from here, please? The next thing will be to create like maybe either the sign up or the login page, another page. for a second page, static header and footer, and a second page that shows sign up and login. Are you able to do that, please? Because I need to leave in 5 minutes.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry?
Said no worries. Yes, I can take over.
Thank you very much. It's on the team binary one. So yeah, what do you guys want on in the middle of your web page, please? What do you want to see here? What do you want? You want
images.
I'd imagine on the web page you want your banner. You want something that shows visual, like maybe an image or something. Yeah,
like a logo visual.
So remember, it's showing that I'm trying to remember. Look at what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to control D this, the image here, and it's not letting me because I've grouped it. So rather than ungroup it because I don't want to move my stuff around, I can just grab this image here, and I can expand this come on. I can expand this as much as I want. So let's say we have a banner in the middle somewhere here. This is my banner, maybe a scrolling banner showing that I'm showing different things. I'm showing different match highlights. Okay, today Adidu FC has match with Muzo FC tomorrow. So if I want, it might be scrollable. It's just an image here. Once you put the image there and you clearly define it within your acceptance criteria, within your user stories, the developer usually knows what you're talking about and what exactly you want to be developed. So this is an image here. So let's just quickly go because I can see that the time is. Let's just quickly go to the next page. So let's create which page do you want to create? Let's pick one within login and sign up. Let's create one. Which one would you like, please? Login or sign up?
Login.
Login. I mean, it's because we're pressed for time. There are other things that you need to put here on the footer as well. You usually have like your cookies policy, your terms of use. We have terms of use, privacy policy, and all of that. But you guys can add it as much as we go along. So we want to create login. What I do is I come here. Remember, on my website, every time I'm on the website, the static, I always see my header and the footer. The only thing that changes is what's in the middle. Sorry, excuse me. So I've come here. Rather than drawing all of this wireframe again, I just come here and I click on duplicate. And it shows me this image duplicated on here. And I double click here, or I right click and say rename. And then I come and say Adiolu United FU. This is my login page, yeah? That's what you said. Login page. And I rename it. So now I know that the static things for me here is the header and footer. There are certain things that I don't need anymore. I come here, I click on group, and I'm able to move things around. So I don't want that image in the middle anymore. I click on it and I delete it. So now we need to start creating login. So when you're on the login page, what do you see? Uzo, please.
I think one of the things Adele mentioned is the wonderful part of Balsamic is that it's very collaborative. So obviously everything you guys have been doing, because I'm logged on to Team Binary, I have access to it as well. If it was being done on Team Agile group, everybody in Team Agile will be able to see it as well. So just to mention a few things before I start creating the second page. Because you guys are sharing one Balsamic account, when you come to your account and you see that someone is working on it, try not to change what someone else has done. Either you create a new image, or if you see someone has done something you like to replicate, she's already showed you how to duplicate. So you literally right click and duplicate what you want to duplicate, and then you can start working on it. So don't, if you're not the one who created something, don't amend it, don't edit it, just leave it for the person. And then because you guys are all working on one project, so even though you're multiple BAs, you're all working on one project, you have to understand that consistency is key. So the way Adeolu just said, she's obviously created like a landing page, and then in order to create the sign up page, she's left the header and the footer the way it is. If someone else on that project wants to create another page, say for example, you want to create the sign up page, just duplicate this if you're creating a whole new wireframe and your login is different and your sign up is different and your menu bar is different and the positioning of your footer is different, it's going to confuse the development team, because this is one website that you're creating. It's just that you're creating different aspects of it. So always remember that the need to be consistent. Don't just go ahead and say, okay, I want to start creating my thing afresh. You're all working on one project. So once you guys agree, remember there are certain things Adeolu is saying here that, like I said, this is not just a theoretical training. It's actually a practical training. So I hope that and you've picked up on some of the things she's talking about. One of the things she talked about as well is the need for consistency. And so make sure that you're consistent in what you're doing. And then another thing again is the fact that obviously these tutorials are really very short. We just have a short window to share some of the things with you. So feel free to play around with these things. Just don't disrupt someone else's work. You can play around with it, try and figure out where things are and all of that. The library and the functionality of Balsamiq is huge. Is really, really a lot. So I just wanted to buttress what we're doing with that, and I'll obviously be adding some more of those tips as we're going along as well. Okay, so before we go on to the second page, I actually wanted to add, because there are many different ways to do different things. So for example, this okay, I think this is grouped. So remember, we want to ungroup. So I just want to add something else here. Do I even need to ungroup if I add it? I mean, I don't think so. So for example, this is a link to resource that was added here. If you want to add a link, a lot of times terms and conditions, contact us, a lot of all these are links. If you want to show that these things are links, you can actually add a link on here. So this is the icon. Oh gosh, sorry about that. This is the icon for a link. You can add a link here. You've already done link to resources here, so I won't change that. But you can add a link to, for example, you already have terms and conditions here. Let me see if I can open it. Sorry, I'm using it's a bit fiddly. So yeah. So for example, after terms of use, link to resource, contact us. What on here do you think would require a link? What else do you want to add here that you think would require a link on the footer?
Directions.
I'm sorry, say again?
Directions.
Directions. So directions to where?
To the venue, wherever the club is located.
Where the stadium is located.
Okay, won't that be under contact us?
I don't think
no,
so.
No.
I don't think it. No, because usually when you see websites, the address and then opening time are always different.
Yes.
Okay, yes, but when you say contact us, isn't that you can contact us by email? You can come. This is our address. This is the directions to our address. Isn't that under contact us? Because I'm thinking in a footer. Again, I think one of the things Adeolu mentioned is user experience as well. So if I kind of want to make sure that all the resources are together. So if I click on contact us, that's usually all the contact information, your phone number, your address, your email, contact us by email, send us one of these messages. These are directions if you want to come physically. Won't that be under contact us? Or is there something else you think would like you need a link for, perhaps? how about something like, because all these organizations, they're regulated, they're businesses and all of that, but obviously they're regulated by, football, sporting organizations and all of that. What about things like a privacy policy? Would that be something they would want their users to know? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, so should we create a link for the privacy policy? Okay. So this shows that this is a link basically. So
sorry, please.
Obviously,
the privacy policy, isn't it under terms of use?
Yeah, privacy policy, there's cookie policy, there's terms of use, there are loads of different things. So a lot of these organizations have legal requirements or regulatory requirements, and they have to make all those things really plain. So terms of use, it could be things like what you can do on our website, basically. Privacy policy is things like what data protection, what we do with your information. When you register with us, you have the right to be forgotten, you have the right to be, for us to delete your information. We're not allowed to sell your information to third parties. If you want us to give your information to our partners, click yes. You have to be 18. Terms of use could be you have to be 18 to register, all those things. So there are different rules and regulations that fall in these different categories.
Okay.
Yeah. So most websites, especially here that data protection is very is actually a major thing. They kind of want to make sure that you're comfortable giving them your information and you know what they're going to use your information for. So yeah, okay, so that's just one thing. And again, so I think let me see if I can sorry. Okay, that's that. I want to try, and I'm not using a mouse. This thing is a bit fiddly. So because I'm not using my mouse, it's difficult to extend this. Let me see if I can do this. I'm using my touchpad. So this is the kind of thing that will bug me, is because we're having a tutorial. I actually want to expand this, but it's not. So if it was just me, I would work on it till I expand it. So you're going to find it's a bit fiddly, but try as much as possible, because I think you saw me expand this not long ago. So it's expandable, but now I don't know why it's not letting me expand it. It's actually moving right now. So please try as much as possible to maintain the lines and the size and all those things. If I was doing it by myself, I would get it right. Like, I won't leave it like this. This is nowhere near what I want it to be, but because of time, I think we'll move on to somewhere else. I just wanted to show you how to create links if you have to create links. And another thing I wanted to highlight here, let me see if I ungroup it, if it'll be easier to maneuver. Nope, still no. Okay. All right. The other thing I wanted to add here again, before we go to a new page, is the fact that, okay, a lot of all these websites, you have like a banner image. For example, we've already added this as a banner image. There's usually text underneath. And remember, if you're not talking, could you mute so there isn't a lot of background noise coming from, yeah, thank you. If you want to talk, you can unmute and talk, but if you're not, you can just mute, so background noise won't get into the recording and make it difficult to follow. Okay, so something else that usually goes with websites, for example, if you see a website here that has a banner image, there's usually text underneath, right? Yeah? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so if, for example, you want to add text onto this, apart from button headers like terms of use, login, home, all those things, text isn't really, you don't really write on wireframes. So if you want to signify that, okay, once a developer sees this, they already know that this is an image. Once they see this here, they'll know that this image is a logo. And the way to denote or capture your text is you click on text. Again, if you want to do a quick ad, you can search for it here, but it's usually at the top. It's one of the major things that people use. So you can see the different ways to denote text. There are some squiggly lines here. Let me see, they're big text, little text, all kinds of things. So you usually use squiggly lines to denote text without writing it out. So let me, sorry. I need to try and, so once you put it there, then you stretch it. You can use that, or there's loads of different things you can use as well. Let me see what else. I think squiggly lines is fine. Okay, yeah, okay, so this is, let me see this one. Block of text. Let me see what this is. Nope, I don't want that. That's actual text. So I want to delete that. There's one other one I'm looking for. I don't know if it's this one. Squiggly block of text. So again, you can drag and drop for some of these things. So there's this option. Nope, I do not want that. There is, okay, I think we can use this for now. There's one I was actually looking for, which I can't seem to find. But if you want to denote, like I said, text, multiple lines of text, you can literally copy and paste. Oh gosh, allow. Sorry, you can literally copy and paste these multiple times. Okay. And then that way they know that this is multiple text. So if for example you have a block of text or something, you can use one of these other options. But I kind of like using text that is indecipherable, because you don't really write in wireframes. So you can just denote text and so forth. So yeah, that's something else I wanted to highlight. All right. So we can regroup this again. Just highlight everything, right click and group. So everything is solid and not movable anymore. All right, so we can go to the sign up page.
Sorry, Uzo. Gladys, can you please mute yourself?
Oh, sorry.
Awesome, thank you. So we can go to the sign up page and build that out. So usually on the sign up page, I think we've changed this to login page. Oh, I beg your pardon, it's login, not sign up. All right, so in the login page, what is usually in the login page? What do you want on your login page?
And login, sign up, submit.
Sorry.
Username, password, submit.
Username, password, submit. Awesome, thank you. So I think Adelu showed you different ways to add text. You can also add a text area, for example, or you can add text input here, or you can add some text here. So there are different ways to do what you want. So which of these three methods do you want us to use to build out stuff? We can use either one. Which one do you guys want? 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. All right, so let's delete this first one. and then work with two only. So we want username. So let's put the username here. Username. Okay, and then we can stretch it. Let me expand on this a bit. Let me see what this looks like. Okay, all right, cool. Expand on username and then stretch it to the way we want it. Username. What else do we want on here? Username, what else do we want?
Password.
Password, okay. Let's stretch that password. Now, because we're using this method, we can just copy and paste, Control C, Control V, and then move it down. It's already aligned it for us. What else do we want before we put, let's just put the different fields. So we want username, we want, what else do we want?
Then login.
Yeah, so username, what else? Password. All right, awesome. Do we want to confirm the password?
You can do verify.
Okay, I think it's, do they say verify or do they say confirm password? What is the normal lingo?
Confirm.
Confirm password. Awesome.
Confirm
what else do we
password.
want? Is there any other field we want? So a question, is your username the same as your email address? You know, some people have usernames, then they have email addresses. Is that the same? Is your username the same as your email address, or are they different fields? Hello?
I think they are different.
Okay. We can have another one for, so username, and then we have email address. And then we have, sorry. And then we have password. Oh, sorry about that. And then we have confirm password. So another control, copy, Control C, and then Control V. So confirm password. All right, so these are the 4 fields. Oh, sorry about that. I want to just highlight these 4. See, that's the thing with them. To highlight 4 of them, I just need to, don't know if it will do it for me. No, it's not. Let me see if I can. Nope. Okay. I usually use my mouse for this. Unfortunately, I'm using my touchpad, so it's very, very fiddly. It's difficult to, I want to, let me see if I can do it this way. Okay. All right. So basically I'm trying to, rather than just align, because I want to increase I want to stretch it out a bit more so that it looks a bit better. But rather than do one field, I kind of want to do both fields together. So I'm doing a Control Shift and then selecting them. If you're using a mouse or your touchpad is less fiddly than mine, you can just highlight all these fields, and then once you do move one, it'll move together.
Yeah.
So again, say again. What is happening? It's very, very, very fiddly. Okay, so my laptop is having a time and a day of it. It's not but again, a lot of these tools, honestly, the same shortcuts and the same methods that you use for most things is how you work on this. I honestly don't know what is happening with my laptop, and I don't know if that's hung because it's not responsive now. So tech issues when you're presenting is just awful. So let me see if I can. Oh, thank you, Lord. All right, cool. Let me see if it will help me. Okay, let's see. I can see once you see these stretching things around it, you know you've kind of gotten what you want. So this is what I've been wanting to do all this time. Just basically stretch it. And then obviously you can see the lines. It has all these rules for you, so you can make sure that they're all properly aligned. Usually in these sorts of things, when you come on here, you usually have text that tells you what this page is. So I'm just dragging this subtitle page, and remember this is login. So you usually have a heading to tell you what this is for. Okay, again, you can see the stretchy thing beside it. So it will let me stretch a bit. Yeah, so yeah, put it in the middle. So that's the title of what the form is. And then once you're done with all of this, you usually have a button. These are loads of buttons. I want to use one of these ones to put here, because once you're done with all of this, what do you usually press to log in?
Enter or submit.
Thank you very much. It's usually called submit. So once you're done, it's a submit button. So I just dragged and dropped one of the buttons here and clicked submit. So this is very rough, but we have a page. We have a page, a login page, a very rudimentary login page, but hopefully it serves our purpose. So yeah, again, the more you play around or you use these tools, the more you'll be able to understand the functionality. These are just we just wanted to show you some of the basic functionality, and then it can help you with your website. So for example, typical websites will have home here, it will have about us, it will have all those sorts of things. And then because when you're creating user stories, you don't create a user story for the whole website. You create a user story for each of the different elements. So if you had a user story for the login, how to log in to a particular website, this would be the wireframe that you would work on and add to it. Okay. So another thing I wanted to do as well, I think we've already done it before, is to highlight everything and group it together so it doesn't move like this one has been doing for the past God knows how long. But yeah, so nothing is clickable here. It's all grouped together and it's not moving. If I wanted to move anything, I'll have to ungroup it and move. So this purple line already tells you that it's static. It's grouped together, so you're not moving. So does anyone have any questions? Any questions?
I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So I can see how you're doing the login command in a different wireframe. Is that how it would be normally? I would have thought everything would be in one wireframe, but is this just for illustration, or is this how it would be on a normal day?
Yeah, thank you. That's a lovely question. So your wireframe is driven by your user story. Your wireframe supports your user story. Remember when Adelu was telling you about wireframes, and she told you about how they're a kind of prototype, they're a kind of sketch. So for example, if you have a story on, you've already written stories now. So you have stories for header, you have stories for team detail, you have stories for logo, you have stories for all kinds of different things. So let's say, for example, your story for logo is, you have a story for logo. The logo should be on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side. You're going to create a user story that shows the developer exactly what you mean. So there's no need to, if I was going to create a user story for the logo, I would click on duplicate for this, yeah, and ungroup everything, yeah. So I'm ungrouping everything because remember it's grouped. I grouped it the last time around, and like we said, most websites, the header and footer is usually consistent. So I'll just move things around for the header and footer. But because this is a logo story, oops, see that I've now deleted it. So I don't want these things anymore. I don't want this anymore. So I'm deleting it. I don't want all these things. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to, again, fiddly. Let me just do it one by one. It'll be so much easier. You should be able to, my laptop and my thumb touchpad, sorry, is just being very funny, but you should be able to highlight the area you want and what do they call it, and delete. So this basically, let me see. For my story, some people are different. Some people will share for the logo. Some people can share this. Some people will highlight just this bit here with the header and literally share the footer that just has the header, because all they want is to show the positioning of the logo on the header. This part here is all you need, but obviously because the header is part of a page, this would actually be the best thing to do. Just basically share this particular wireframe with the developers, because all you're focused on now, all you need to show them is the logo part. That's all. So this would be a good wireframe to share with them because it just tells you where the logo is. Some people, for the footer, they would literally just highlight the footer, or create just the footer and then share the footer. Some people, if they wanted to tell you about the header, they would just literally cut off just the header. Some other people will share this full thing for you. And the developers already know that because the story is talking about the logo, yes, there's login, there's this, there's all of that, but this is what they're focused on. So they're focused on the positioning. If, for example, your logo is going to be on the right side and you moved it here, they will just focus on that. So when you're writing when you're creating a wireframe, you have to create the wireframe to support what the user story talks about. So if you're talking about login, or so this is login, you have to create this and let them know this is the login page. So for example, your user story would probably say something like, when I'm on the right side, when I'm on the website and I click on login and the page is displayed and the login page is displayed and I'm able to see username, email address, password, confirm password, and submit. So once that is on your user story, then whatever your wireframe is has to support that. If your user story doesn't say confirm password, then there's no need for this last one. If it just has username, email address, or maybe it has first name, last name, that's what you've been asked to do. You can't create one field for username because your wireframe literally says first name, last name. So you need to create a field for first name, and then you need to create another one. For example, let me ungroup this now so I can change it a bit. Let's say your user story has to do with ungroup, has to do with first name, last name. So this is just one field here, but your user story is stupid. Let me okay, fine, awesome. All right, let's see if it'll work this time. Okay, brilliant. So your user story has to do with first name, last name. So and it's side by side. So obviously when your PO is giving you the requirements, they'll let you know what the positioning is. So they tell you that the first name and the last name is side by side on a field. So that means that your wireframe will no longer say user story. It will literally say first name and last name. And then everything else. So you can see how the wireframe has changed to match the user story. So you have to make sure that your wireframe is supporting your user story. The wireframe doesn't drive the user story. The user story drives what you have on the wireframe. And you have to make sure that it's as clear as possible. But remember, it's just a sketch. So you don't add things like colors or text or all those kind of things. The reason all this is here is just to show you what the buttons are. But to say that, for example, about us, then you now start writing, oh, this is a company, blah, blah. That's not where that is. You have a separate document for all of that, but then you have squiggly text to show, oh, this is about us. And in the event that your what do they call it? Your developers or your QAs and your developers, like that you want to add more detail, you can literally add about us. Where's my text? So you can put a big title here that basically says stuff like about us. And that just tells you that all this squiggly text here is just the about us detail. Obviously, again, I'm so sorry. This is, if my wireframes are usually a lot better than this, because it's good. It has to be aligned. The sizing has to be matchy. Please don't send haphazard wireframes to your developers. Take the time to make sure everything aligns properly, your text and all of that. I'm just very conscious of the time, and again, my touchpad is just being very funny. So my wireframes are usually I'm a bit finicky when it comes to all these things. So if it takes me a while to align everything and make sure that the sizing is good and all of that, then I will do whatever I need to do. So please just ignore all of this. And yeah, so yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm not sure who asked the question, but I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm playing around with all of this because I know you're going to throw it out eventually, but I just wanted to show you some of the stuff. So this is usually the only text you have and all kinds of things. And if you're showing multiple images, you just literally add your image. Yeah, there are some things that are, oh, what happened to all my stuff? Okay, so yeah, I usually, okay, let's do images here and see. Okay, so can we have the image here again? Oops, sorry. If you have a website, Jesus, with multiple images, you can literally do, basically do that. Copy, paste. Copy, paste is your friend, honestly. Align. Let's say you have a gallery of images. Copy some more, paste some more. And then, so you can, it's very versatile. It's drag and drop. If there's a functionality you're looking for that you want, that you can't really find, because again, it's very detailed. So when you click on animals, so many things come, automobiles, brands. So yeah, there are loads. So if there's something you want really quickly, just start to type it and it'll come up, and you can basically click on it and it'll appear, and then you drag it onto your wireframe. So there's a lot, but just make sure that each wireframe matches your user story, and it just gives a visual representation of what you're trying to say, the positioning of the different elements of the web page. Yeah. All right, I think this is good. I want to leave the last 10 minutes for you guys to ask your questions. So please go ahead and ask your questions.
Yeah, my question is, when we have the Facebook icon, Twitter icon, and icon, is it a role to impute the page of the companies or the stakeholders page? What I mean is so when they click on it, it takes them directly to the Facebook.
Yeah, so your user story, all that detail will be on your user story. There's no need to put it here. The fact that all you want to show here with your, if you have, for example, a story on Facebook, social media, it will already have your the footer should have social media icons, maybe Facebook icon. It will be on the left hand side. It will be the first icon on the footer on the left hand side, and once you click on it, it takes you, it opens up the organization's Facebook page. Your additional information will have the link, because you need to give the developer the particular link you're talking about. Your additional information will have anything else you want, any other bells and whistles you want to add. Once you show them this with the footer and this positioning, this wireframe has done its job with regards to the positioning of where Facebook is supposed to be. So all you need to do is literally create the web page and put where the Facebook icon is supposed to be. Your user story will describe what happens when you click on it. And then it will, your additional information will have the link that appears when you click on it, because you're telling them that you want the user to go to a particular Facebook page, not just Facebook. So you have to obviously add the link there. So that's basically how you can add that in here. All the wireframe wants to do is just show what it looks like, a sketch of what it looks like, so the developers know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's so clear now. So I just understood now that the wireframe, in summary, is a sketch. Like,
that's all it is. Black and white sketch. That's all it is. Yeah,
I got it
that's
now.
all it is. You know, when you're talking to somebody, sometimes the person doesn't, you have to just, the person has a lot of questions, but once you show someone a sketch of what something, they're like, oh, okay, is that what you meant? Okay, no problem, that's fine. So it's just a visual representation of how it will look. But when you're now talking about the functionality and all of that, it has to be on your acceptance criteria. That's where you say, okay, you log on and you click, and then this one opens, and then that one opens, and then blah, blah, blah. That's all that is your acceptance criteria. But this is just a sketch of what it looks like. Yeah. Any other questions?
The quick one again. Does it mean for each user story, we should create, or we must have the wireframe?
Yes. Yes, especially when it comes to web development. Especially when it comes to web development. So there are some other other instances where a wireframe might not really work. For example, I'm on a project that has to do with web enhancement. So the web page is already live, but we want to tweak some things. So I can literally get a screenshot of the live site and tell them, oh, this is what I'm referring to. Because it has already been developed, there's no need for a sketch anymore. There's actually a living, breathing, live website. So I don't really need a sketch anymore. I can literally take a screenshot and put it there. But when there's no site, you're building a site from scratch. It's called a greenfield project. It's new. Nothing is there. There's nothing for them to reference. So you have to give them, that's where your wireframe comes in. You have to now show them, okay, this is what I mean when I'm saying that the logo has to be on the header by the left, because there's no logo existing. But if a website is already live, then I can go and take a screenshot of that website and put it there, and then they will say, oh, okay, I want you to move it from here to here. I don't need a wireframe anymore. So you, by the time it is you start practicing as a BA, you would know where wireframes are necessary and when they're not. But normally in your web development site, when nothing is there, you have to have wireframes for all your stories. Okay?
Yes, very clear now.
So that already tells you that all the stories you have now, you need to add wireframes to all of them. So all the requirements you've written, that have to do with header, footer, team details, all those sorts of things. They're talking about, oh, it should be on the left, it should be on the footer, it should be on the right. Your logo, you have 2 logos here, one for the organization. You already know that you need wireframes for all those things. So I hope now that you're already beginning to envision what your wireframe for each story would look like. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Yeah. Good evening, Uzo.
Hi.
Yeah. And thank you for the training. It's so very insightful. I don't know if this question has been if you've covered it, or maybe I don't know as covered because at the point of the course of the lecture, because at the time I had to quickly move out of the call. I wanted to ask, the wireframe, is it only for websites or developments? And what if I'm building an app? Can I use wireframe for an app, or what kind of sketch or prototype do I use to represent?
100%. So it's usually for software development projects. So for example, this has, if you look at the top, it has templates. And from here, it tells you, okay, this is a basic e-commerce site. This is a blog site. This is a book. This looks like a mobile site for me. Business site, blah, 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 blah. So these are, let me do, because if I start scrolling, there are loads and loads. So let's do mobile here. Sorry. Quick. Mobile. So e-commerce mobile. No, let's do mobile. Where is my, okay, yeah, mobile regular. Let's do this one. Let's see what that looks like. So already you can see there is already, look at all the different templates for a mobile app. So if you're creating a mobile app and you want to envision what what it will look like on a mobile phone, then this, you don't need this square website thing. You need this template, and then you now start building everything on this template. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you.
Awesome. So there are loads. I mean, you won't, I'm not even, okay, look at this one, a mobile app. So this is already a template for a mobile app, but it's already giving you the template. There are loads of things here that you may not need. So you can just have like a blank page and start building it the same way you have like a blank web page. You can have a blank mobile page. Look at MS Teams. So there are so many, as long as it's on the web, as long as it's software related, you usually need to build a wireframe for it. I have people that are building wireframes for customer interface. As long as it's on the web, as long as it's software, you can build a wireframe for it, and there are templates for it here. So yeah, we're just using this because obviously it's what you guys are working on, but there are loads of functionalities here that you can use. So yeah. Any other questions? I hope that answered your question.
Sure.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions? Almost 10 o'clock. If you want us to stay a bit longer, we can. But I'm conscious of the time for your sakes. There's one question that I've been expecting someone to ask and no one has. I'm wondering why not. I've dropped a lot of hints and no one seems to have picked up my hints. Let me drop another hint again. Maybe I'll make it a bit, clearer. The user stories you created, right? You're going to need to create template wireframes for them, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Think about what that process entails and let me know if there's any question that comes to mind, or if you already have the answer.
I have a question, but I don't know if it's related to anything.
No. Go ahead and ask your question, regardless of what I'm saying.
So, initially, you mentioned that, or if like when you've created the wireframe and you want to show whoever's developing it, the thingy, if it's the tweak, you take a screenshot and you show them. With this one, would they be added to the wireframe, like to the wireframe as well, or do you present it as a PowerPoint kind of presentation so they see what you're doing? Like how do you get this image across to the developer?
Thank you very, 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 very much. That's the question I've been expecting. How are you, when you've created your awesome wireframe, how are you going to share it? The only people that have access to Balsamic are the BAs. So your QAs and your dev guys and your Scrum Masters, I mean, when you've done your awesome wireframe and you've put everything on your bells and whistles, how do you share it? No, you don't bring them to Balsamic. Balsamic is just a tool that you use. So once you've created your wireframe, all you need to do is copy it. All the hints I've been dropping since, and attach it to your what do they call it, to your story. So I'll show you what that looks like. Again, with the copy and the right click and copy. Let me see if this will work. I hope my system will work. Okay. So this is one of my websites. If it'll come up, I hope it'll come up. Oh, thank you, Lord. All right. So these are just stories, you know, that don't mind the user frame user story. Sorry, I'm just using this to illustrate. So this is a story that someone has created. So I copied, you saw me copy the wireframe, right? I highlighted, sorry, I was doing it. I'm so sorry. I forgot that I'm sharing my screen. So basically you highlight everything. You have the wireframe, or you highlight what it is you want to share. If you want the whole page, you highlight the whole page. If you want a section, you highlight the section, whatever it is you want. You highlight it and you right click and you select copy. And then you go to your user story, open the particular one you want, and you, sorry, Jesus, that didn't work. Okay, sorry. Let me see if grouping helps. Group. Okay, let's see. Sorry. What's happening? It's not pasting the way you ought to. You're actually supposed to copy, you'd be able to copy and paste it. I don't know why it's not doing it. Oh, shoot.
So, sorry, I think this thing is a bit, I don't know why
it's so finicky.
It is. Sorry, guys. Like it's usually, yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. So a workaround, another workaround. I'm so sorry, guys.
Can you click on, if you click on that edit, click on Control. Just do a Control A. Control A.
All right.
Oh, it's taking that. You can delete that?
No. Let me delete that. Yeah. Let me delete this. I
once
put
you
that
delete
there
that
for the mobile thing. Yeah. All right. Cool. So Control
then
A.
Control A. And right click and group it. So I usually like to group. Okay, it's grouped already. So
yeah,
click
let me
on the
ungroup it first, because I think it grouped with that thing. So let me group it again. Okay, so group again. Yep.
And then there's that at the top header.
Lock.
The very top where you see the edit button. Can you see that edit button at the top next to the screen? Yeah. Then copy bitmap to clipboard.
So much. That's the one.
No, copy bitmap, the next one, not the just copy bitmap to clipboard. So it kind of copies it as an image.
Thank you.
Yeah. No worries.
Awesome. All right. And then yay. Thank you so much, Deolu. So yeah, that's basically how you do it. Let me describe, let me talk you through it again, because that took a lot of whatever. So highlight all, Control A. Right click to lock group. I've already been grouped, so right click to group. We've done that already, so it's not here. And then if you click on the edit button, copy bitmap to clipboard, and then you go to your story and then you paste it, and bingo bango, your wireframe is on your story. Yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saving this because, yeah, it's not the right one. So cool. Thank you for that question. I was waiting for that question, and then when it finally came. All right. So I'm not saving this. Leave. Awesome. All right. Any other questions?
So I really didn't see what you did.
Okay, so let me undo it. Let me undo this. Let me ungroup. Okay, so once you're done with your wireframe, you select everything. You either draw your mouse across it all, or you do Control A and it will select everything for you. And then once you're done with that, you right click and all these symbols come out and you click on group. So that means it treats it as one image. It's not treating it as different parts of an image. It's treating this whole thing that you just grouped as one image. Then you go to your edit button at the top. So remember, this tells you your team binary, tells you the name of what you're creating, and then there's your edit button here with all these functionalities. Then rather than copy, which is what I was clicking, you click on copy bitmap to clipboard. So this is the one you click on, copy bitmap to clipboard. Control Shift C is the shortcut. Click on it. Yeah. So it tells you an image of your selection is now in your clipboard. So it's already saved onto your clipboard. Then you go to your Azure DevOps board. Yeah. And you select the particular story you're working on that you want to attach it to. I'm just selecting this story. Please ignore this. This is just a story I'm working on. It's not the same one, but I just want to show you. So let's say is this particular story. You click on the story underneath your additional information, because that's what it is. You click on Control V or right click and paste. And then your wireframe is here. So basically you just see wireframe below. You obviously let them know that the wireframe is there. You know, see wireframe or see below for wireframe. You decide what it what it says, and then you click on the wireframe here, and then you save it, and that's it. Yeah, is that better? Okay. And if you didn't get it, this video is available. And the one thing I really like, because normally tutors are you just one tutor, but I'm so glad Adelu is on here because she saved me. I was going to show you a shortcut I normally use, but I didn't have to do that because she just, showed me what to do basically. So if you're working on something and you're lost, please reach out to your colleagues. You're not supposed to know these things alone. That's the benefit of having a community. If you forget or you didn't catch something or you have a question, you can reach out to one of your colleagues and tell them, oh, I missed this thing out. Did what do you do here? Or maybe you're having issues with your wireframe and you're a bit stuck. You can reach out to one of your colleagues and say, let's work on this thing together, and then you guys will help each other out the same way you saw Nadelu help me and everything. So there are loads of resources you have available to you. You have mentors, you have buddies. We all use Balsamiq. That's what we use for wireframes here. So we're all familiar with it. So reach out to someone if you need help, and practice. That's the honest truth. It really helps when you do that. Yeah. I hope that was helpful. Any other questions?
Yeah, sorry, Uzo, I have a question, please.
Sure.
For instance, when you're trying to add maybe you're trying to add the wireframe of your to your footer story, yeah? and you know, on the page, the front page comprises of the header, the footer, and other parts of the story on the wireframe. Yeah. So if you are trying to add the wireframe to the footer user story, are you going to copy the whole image on the wireframe to the footer, or each stories needs to have their own wireframe? I don't know if you understand my question.
Okay, so I think I do. So for example, you finished drawing you finished creating the wireframe for your entire landing page, which has a logo, header, footer, all the different things. And you're writing the story for just the footer. You're asking, do you share the full thing and then let them know, or do you just select the footer? Again, it depends. There are people that do that, but for other people, I'm actually one of those people. I like focusing on what the wireframe is about. So if, for example, I'm writing a story about the login, the header with the logo, I'm one of those people that I will actually highlight just the header and share it, because the full thing, this one is even just it's not even as full. There are some wireframes that are very busy. I don't know if I can share one of them. Let me see if I can. Can I do something like this? Let me see if I can share one that is really busy. There are some wireframes that are just full on. I don't know if I can. This isn't even. So there are some wireframes that are really, very detailed. And if you only wanted a section of, for example, let's just say this, for example, you wanted to just show the logo, and you have all this on the wireframe, it's very busy. It can be really distracting. So a lot of times what I do is I actually try and focus the attention on what I want the developer to see. So I could literally just highlight this bit and then maybe group that and then save that onto the bitmap page and then share just that. Do you understand? So it's your job as the BA to make sure that your story, your wireframe, your acceptance criteria is as clear as possible. There are BAs that will share all of this because after all, they're writing a story about the logo, and yes, there are other things here, but the logo is here. But I prefer to kind of focus on what my story is about. So if my story is about the logo, I'll focus on the logo. If my story, the reason I'll add the header is because the logo is not on its own. It's part of the header. So I'll show the logo positioning on the header and where everything else fits. So that's why I won't just, copy just the logo and share it. I want the developer to see this is where the logo sits within the header. But then if I share all these other things, it could be very distracting. If I want to show what the whole page looks like, fair enough, I can do that. But if my story is just about one element of the website, I prefer, it's my preference to highlight it and then just show the immediate environment. Same with the footer, if I have a footer as well. But some people are fine with sharing this whole thing, as long as during your refinement meeting, you let your developers know that, oh yeah, so this is what I want to highlight. I just want to highlight the logo. If they're happy with it, then that's fine. So it's actually, you have the discretion as the BA to share what element you want, but you have to make sure that your wireframe enhances your user story and doesn't detract from it. If you share it and they give you feedback that is too much information or it's confusing or whatever else they give you the information of, then you go back and give them what they want. So it's up to you. Different BAs do different things. And eventually you as a BA, you're going to start doing something different. So yeah, it depends. I hope that helped.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Any other questions? No? All right, let me stop sharing. So you guys are all very well equipped to go and create wireframes for your different user stories. Yeah? And your buddies and your mentors are available to help you with them. You all have access. So look out for the link. You need a link to get onto your team's Balsamic. While I was on there, I actually saw some of you were joining in as well. So that's good. So go check your emails. Make sure you should have gotten the link. You can check your junk or spam folder. You should have gotten the link inviting you to the Balsamic, your team's Balsamic section or page, and then from there you can start creating. But remember the etiquette I mentioned, because sometimes you have people that have worked really hard on their wireframes and then they come back and someone has, moved things around or played around with it and all of that. If you like what someone has done on your page, fair enough. Make a duplicate, make a copy, rename it. Because when you make a copy, it'll just tell you copy. It'll give you the name of what you've copied and tell you copy. So just rename it, footer, header, logo, whatever you're working on, and then you can play around with it. But please try not to change what someone has worked really hard for. As you can see, it's very fiddly. So for someone to do all of that, it takes time, it takes a lot of effort. So it won't be fair if you go and pick someone's work simply because you have access and you change it, or you don't even realize what you're doing. If you're not the one that created it, please duplicate it or start your own afresh. Yeah, let's help each other. It can be so frustrating if someone does that. I've had situations where interns have come and they're really upset because a lot of their hard work has gone, and then you can actually undo. So if you find that you started doing that to someone's work and you're like, oh my god, I've changed whatever, you can actually start undoing, and it will revert back to the state it was when you got it, and then you can now save and start working on your own stuff. So let's use that etiquette when working together on each other's, and then if you come and you see someone has done work, because I've seen sometimes, because it's the same website, someone has done the work, someone just comes and copies it and pastes it, you're not learning anything. So good on you. Your story has the wireframe, but you haven't learned anything. So for you to learn, just take out the time and practice on it. It will take your time, but you find yourself a lot better for it as well. These applications are there to help you. And when you're putting on your CV that you use Balsamic, you're talking in your interview and telling them, oh, I use Balsamic to create a wireframe for my user stories. The way you use some of these terms, people will know that you know what you're talking about. And if you meet it in your project, in your workplace, you're not even going to be phased because you know how to use it. And again, some of these other, like Adela talked about lucid charts, and some of the Miro, some of the other what do they call it, Figma, some of the other wireframing tools out there. If you learn how to use Balsamic, it's easier for you to use all these other tools because the basic principles are the same. So you're not going to be learning from scratch again. Someone puts Figma in front of you, it takes very little time to pick up how Figma works because you know how to use Balsamic. Balsamic is like the industry one. A lot of people, as you can see, the functionality is awesome. Figma, people use it for color. It has colors and images and all of that. But when you're talking about basic wireframing, Balsamic is your ideal tool. So yeah, that's basically all from me.